I'll start with what's most important, the purpose of my presentation, namely to draw your attention to the shipping traffic and shipbuilding industry, where the topic of cybersecurity is new. My name is Vladimir Okunev. I've been in the shipbuilding industry for over 16 years. I've worked in various positions and been involved in the design of ships, development and production of ship automation systems, and supervision of the construction of ships directly in the factory. In my current position, I deal with cybersecurity issues on sea vessels. A little bit about our organization. The Russian Maritime Register of Shipping, aka the Register, or RS for short, is the country's leading classification society, founded in 1913 and for over a century has accumulated a wealth of experience to help our organization ensure the security of shipping, safety of human life at sea, and safety of transported cargo and the environment. The main focuses are supervision of the design and construction of ships, monitoring of ships in operation and international activities. The Russian Maritime Register takes an active role in the International Maritime Organization as part of the delegation of the Russian Federation. The company has representative offices throughout Russia, including abroad in CIS countries and in China, Turkey, South Korea, Vietnam, and other countries. Modern ships, as we've already heard, are complex technical structures where almost all processes are controlled by computerized systems, including mission-critical systems, where failure or malfunctions can lead to disastrous consequences, and the development of autonomous shipping is becoming ever more present. I should emphasize that this isn't the future, it's already reality, and in Russia multiple vessels are operated autonomously, with the country a global leader in this regard. Keep in mind that 80% of world trade is carried out by sea transport. The failure or malfunction of even one vessel can lead to serious consequences. As an example, just remember when in March 2021 the container ship Ever Given blocked the Suez Canal, and during the blockage world transport trade lost about $9.6 billion a day, so cybersecurity issues need to be given due attention to ensure the safety of sea navigation in general. Let's look at the statistics. These statistics are from a non-profit organization, France Cyber Maritime. Here are cyber incidents in the maritime industry, namely disclosed cyber incidents. I'll say right away that these are statistics for the whole industry, including incidents that occurred on ships and in port infrastructure and shipping companies. The number of incidents that occurred on ships is less, but I say we look at these statistics from a qualitative point of view. I'd like to emphasize once again that the statistics include only confirmed cases. And in fact, this is where one of the problems lies, because we don't know the real number of cyber incidents. And this leads to the fact that, for example, insurance companies may refuse insurance for cyber crimes on ships due to the absence of statistics and the impossibility of assessing the cost of insurance policies. If we consider the distribution of incidents in the maritime industry, we can highlight the suppression or spoofing of GPS signals, or 4.7% of the total number incidents, and incidents common in the industry related to malware. Examples of signal suppression in the network can be found around the port of Novorossiysk, off the coast of North Korea, and off the coast of Norway. As for malware infections, there's an example where a drilling rig was infected with malware during maintenance, so it couldn't perform its functions properly, and To resolve the issue, it took 19 days and cost the shipping company $13 million. By system type, radio navigation and communication systems ensure safe maneuvering and movement of ships, and as was said previously, these systems can be manipulated or GPS signal suppression, and there's also the chance of malware infections during cartography updates when using removable media or when downloading updates from untrusted sources. The OT system provides control and signaling on the vessel, and the protection of these systems is subject to malware infections during maintenance or operation of systems. The IT system ensures communication between ships and the shore and also facilitates business processes related to operating vessels. This system has almost uninterrupted access to the internet, and the situation is made more serious by the fact that IT and OT systems are linked on board. A few words about the difficulties encountered in the shipbuilding industry. Firstly, it's a lack of specialists in information security. I'm talking specifically about information security specialists with an understanding of what a ship is and the composition of systems on board, as well as the nuances of ship operations. These specialists should be involved in the process of ship design and construction. This issue isn't just in Russia, it's everywhere. Low cyber literacy among crew members, as has been repeatedly said, like in other industries, they don't know what cyber scams are, how to protect against them, and their potential consequences. A lack of reliable testing methods. The shipbuilding industry is conservative. It can do everything. It just needs the methodology. But the industry is new, so there aren't any methods, and right now we can't sufficiently test implemented measures and evaluate their effectiveness. As I mentioned earlier, the lack of real statistics on cyber incidents on ships, in addition to the insurance issues, we can't properly develop effective and justified protective measures. Plus the specifics of operating a ship, it's often far from the coast on international routes. There are communication restrictions, and in the event of a cyber incident, the crew, even with a low level of cyber literacy, must make decisions on its own and take measures to prevent the spread or consequences of such incidents. As for regulations, the first document was drafted in 2017 by the International Maritime Organization. This is, of course, a coincidence, but it was in the same year that the Major's shipping company was attacked by Petia Nod. The regulations are intended to attract the attention of representatives of the shipbuilding industry and contain recommendations to develop and implement organizational measures to manage cyber risks. In 2020, the International Association of Classification Societies developed their own recommendations to supplement the international maritime organizations, including recommendations for risk assessment and certain technical aspects of protection. In 2023, the International Association of Classification Societies published 2 resolutions with direct demands for the protection of vessels themselves and individual components. In 2024, the Russian Maritime Register developed its own rules. Here's a brief overview. The requirements are based on resolutions of the International Maritime Organization that I already said contains requirements for both vessels as a whole and individual components. The requirements apply to the OT systems of small-capacity cargo vessels over 500 engaged in international routes. 00953.8. I want to emphasize that these are mandatory requirements for said vessels if contracts for their construction were entered into July 1st, 2024 and later. The system integrator is a key role noted in the requirements. System integrators are tasked with developing and implementing protective measures, as well as developing documentation and, in some cases, carrying out certain tasks on the vessel. During construction, the shipyard is the default system integrator, and during operation, the ship owner. This is important because the lack of specialists puts ship owners and factories in a situation where they can't sufficiently perform the functions of a system integrator. Therefore, there's an option to transfer the powers of a system integrator to a third party. I hope maybe there are companies in this room that will provide support to ship owners and factories and take on the role of a system integrator. To wrap things up, I want to say that cyber threats on ships are real, and with increased digitalization, we can predict in the shipbuilding industry more incidents than in the past. Thank you for your attention.